It's bright too. How's it, everybody? Unzipped, methodically messy. See, look, I'm taking a video right now. That's Shelby, my soon-to-be daughter-in-law. But my hair's kind of messy right now because it's very windy. But anyways, today I was thinking, man, I got a story. So right here in this location, as you can see, you see how it is. There's the water and everything, and the walkway, right? It goes both ways, the walkway. So last week, was it? Like last week, we saw tracks, right? It was the second time we've seen tracks, and and they're what we believe is mountain lion tracks because there's no claws in the front. Uh, we measured the last one, the inside of the print, not the outside of the print, but the inside of the print was just over 3.5 inches. Um, the outside of the print was bigger. So yeah, and then we saw poop up here one time. It was cat poop. But anyways, that story being said, because that's pretty cool. And then one time we got bear poop over here, and we took a picture of that, and that was pretty cool too. So that being said, we live on this little property, not very big. We consider pretty small, but it is secluded somewhat. So you never know what goes on when you're not here, right? I mean, just like at home, you don't know what goes on at home when you're not there. We don't know what goes on down here. We don't know, if there's a party of coyotes, they hang out and smoke cigars and have a campfire down here. We don't know if bears are hanging out in the trees, catcalling the raccoons on the ground. We don't know what happens when we're not here, but I mean, prove me wrong, but I don't think those things happen, but who knows, right? So that being said, it leads me to a point. We don't know what happens in other people's lives. We don't know what happens in their households. We don't know what happens in their daily life or what just happened 5 minutes ago or 20 years ago. We just don't know. We may have heard stories or things, or because they're friends we may know, or maybe family and we know, but we still don't know the ins and outs, right? We don't know what's going on in people's lives. So when I was a young kid, I was kind of intrigued by that, and so I would actually go and find people and just kind of help them. As a young kid, I would try to make people feel like they were cared for and they were loved. If I knew somebody was being abused at home, I'd stop at their house and maybe walk them to school or something, or do something. That's just what I did. I believe that's how my sons were also. We hear more stories about Poa than Ho'opono, but maybe we don't want to hear the stories about Ho'opono because he's a little bit more violent. So we heard a lot of stories about how Poa would treat people and protect them and stand up for their rights, or not necessarily rights. I don't know if I like that thing, stand up for rights. But they stood up for people that were bullied or neglected or not taken care of and so forth. So my point is this: we don't know what goes on in another person's home. But we as adults, we can train our young ones, right? Our keiki, our kids. We can teach them, yes, the dangers of life and all that. But if you're going to teach them the dangers, teach them about the victories of life also. Not only that, but teach them about not just the dangers, but teach them how they can help other people through those dangers. Your child may one day be that child that helps another not commit suicide, but seeks counseling or help. Your kid might be the one that actually helps other people from teetering on the wall, but making a decision or making the right choices. Or when somebody gets in trouble, they know they can call on your kid to be the one that picks them up from a party that they shouldn't have been at. Train your kid to be the kid that, even though they may get in trouble for doing something, they're going to do it because it's right and take the heat for it, but knowing that that person whether it be a close friend or not, got home safely and got where they needed. We can't expect our kids to always make the perfect mature decision, but if you read in between the lines, a lot of times our kids are the ones that are helping somebody else, and they get in trouble for it. Now, as children, they don't use it as an excuse, or use it as a reasoning out of something. But I am saying that it's time we train our kids to step up and do what's right. If you're a Bible believer, it even says in Scripture that, and not just train up your kids, right? Okay, all that in there for it. But I love a scripture in there. I'm going to paraphrase it. But that the youth will be the example for others, for the older ones, for not the generations behind them, but the generations that was before them. That even the teenagers can be an example for adults. So train your kids to be not Karens. Train your kids to be grateful. Train your kids not to be entitled. Train your kids how to go into places, say thank you for holding the door. Thank you. And train your kids how to give tips. All those things. There's great things we can train our kids to do. But train your kids how to watch out for others, because we don't know what's happening behind another closed door. All right? Much love and peace out. Aloha.